Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Basic Blokes. I'm Tom.
And I'm Eric.
Way, there we go. All right, we nailed it. This is only the third time that we've tried this. You have been streaming a lot on TikTok Live. Now a lot of people want to hear about your experiences with it. I want to tell you why it's rubbish, but go. So
You can tell me why it's rubbish. Everyone has their own opinion. It's going good, man. I'm enjoying it. Something a little bit different. It's not. I'm not used to. What's this word I'm going to say? Because as we met through like TikTok, which was cool, and then I told you where I streamed. I was streaming on Twitch, and I've been doing Twitch for a long time. And as we all know, Twitch is very congested, very competitive field. It's hard to get noticed in there. There's no discoverability in there. But my TikTok has been picking up. I'm enjoying my TikToks. And not only that, if I'm not streaming on TikTok, people have videos to watch when I'm not live. And I've also liked the idea that, the majority of people, there's a lot of people come in on your TikTok live who aren't streamers, who are just normal Joes who are just looking for someone to watch. And maybe some people might not even be watching video games, but then they'll take an interest to what you're playing, where you're from, sort of thing. Whereas with the streaming platform of Twitch, I felt there's a lot of people, your audience was other streamers. There was a lot of, I got to go now. I'm streaming as well. Can I get a shout out? And I'm not saying everyone's like that, but you felt that. It's a little bit different. I'm having actually good conversations with people and stuff like that. But look, of course, you're still going to get that same thing like with likes and shares and keep smashing the likes, keep smashing the shares. I get that.
That's my fucking heading. Keep smashing the likes, keep smashing the shares.
Yeah. But everyone does. But everyone's got to have their own take, doesn't it? Everyone's got to have their own take, like raids.
That's a take
on Twitch. Yeah, look at raids and look at hosting. So,
smash the like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like broken. It just sounds a bit, I don't know, broken record. It's like that constant, like, you've got to hit the button. And it just doesn't doesn't feel very UI friendly, does it? It's, oh, hang on 1 second, let me just hammer the phone like a clitoris here and then put it down for 50 minutes.
Finger bang me. But in a way, it's interaction, if you think about it.
Not. I don't want to touch my phone while I'm watching you. And
maybe, but you could be tapping on my face, like
why?
You might be making.
It's so stupid. It requires hundreds of taps as well. So TikTok lives are good because it's based. When you go live, you get served people who are potentially interested in your type of content, etc. However, that is also the bad side of it because you're also not put into any specific categories. I can't look up, like, I have to be searching and liking Diablo 4 content to find potentially Diablo 4 streamers, and even then,
I'm not too happy on that either.
And even because
they do need to.
Even when I say I don't like certain comments, I still get this stream of paraplegic people, like in like stream, or just like people packing gems in boxes and weird stuff. Like, I'm not interested in any of this. Yeah. Why do I keep getting certain? I keep saying not interested.
I think what you need, I think definitely technology needs to work that. They do have like gaming categories and other categories, but it's so blasé right now. But it will be cool once they narrow that down, where, like you said, you should go in your category games and then type in Diablo, and it will show you maybe Diablo live streams. They should. I'm pretty sure that they'll work on that, because like I use TikTok Live Studio, and that is different from TikTok Live on your phone. It's a pain in the ass because like some people will be seeing different. They will see you on the phone. Some people will see on the computer, and it's not really properly connected. And I know Live Studio is still on a beta. They're definitely going to need to work on a lot of things, but I'm enjoying it for the most part. But yeah, the whole tapping thing is good if you're on a phone, but some people aren't on a phone, they're on a computer. How are they supposed to react to your content? But will they change that? I don't know.
In my mind, TikTok is just a glorified digital business card. Like, it's so you go on there, it serves your content to other people, and then you have a chance to say, "Hey, I'm really awesome, guys. You should check out this additional doing." It's great for doing essentially like cold calling, but forced on a group of individuals.
It is a marketplace. That's what it is. It's a marketplace. And you're there to sell yourself. You're there to sell a market. You're just selling a brand. Like we're doing that right now with Basic Blokes. We're there doing our shorts. We want people to engage with our videos. We want people to like our videos. We want people to share our videos. That's why you have so many options. Look at TikTok, right? You can comment, stitch, duet, share, repost, They give you so many options on how to react to that video.
Yes.
Tons of ways.
Anyway,
Tons of ways. It's good.
I hate talking about streaming because I think it is a boring subject, as you know from our discussion. So let's talk about something that isn't quite boring. What have you been playing this week?
Nudity.
No, not nudity. No. What have you been playing this week? Go on. I've got some good games to talk about this week.
I played a bit of Leap. I didn't mind that. That came out at the beginning of March. It's a first-person shooter in the I guess it's like Destiny and Titanfall in a way. Definitely still needs work.
So it's going to die.
Yeah, that's the problem with these games. Like, especially if you're an FPS fan, you want the game to be solid on day one, or you will not play around with it. So that's an unfortunate part. I feel the maps are too big. You'll respawn way too far out of the map, and you're just constantly not in the action. I like it like Call of Duty. You die, you're instantly respawned, you're there. I don't like a game where it takes too long to respawn, and then you got to go into the map to get into the action. I don't like that. I really don't. I want my action like this.
You want your dopamine hit. That's so good. Okay, I can
exactly.
appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be killing people or doing my objective in the fastest time possible without
exactly. You agree on that? That's something we agree on. Yeah, I like Call of Duty, and same thing with Battlefield. Like even Battlefield 2042, I was playing the new maps on that. I feel like the respawning was quicker. Was longer than me getting into a game. Like you're loading, you're dead, and you come back in, and then you're dead again. Like I felt like that was just becoming repetitive, and I just turned it off. Fuck shit.
I played. I played Leap when it first came out in like the alpha beta period, and I had exactly the same experience. It was this would be a good game, but the also problem is that I feel like the game is built on franchises that were
other games.
In golden in my like younger heyday that people just don't appreciate anymore. So the Unreal 2K7s, Tribes, for example, with the hoverboards, all these like things that I remember these. Even like the disc launcher weapons like are from Tribe, and
I don't think I ever played
Tribes. It was like really you basically had different classes, and it was like a glorified capture the flag mode. But one of the things about it was that if you were a flag capture and you're playing like Scout, you had this, like, there was almost an art form of gliding down the maps at, like, maximum speeds. Like, you're almost playing a snowboarding game, and then you just have to zoom in quickly. Of course, if you're on defense, you were, like, big guns and having to stop them and so on. It was really good fun. And there were vehicles and all sorts. And then I can't remember who took over it now. I think it was Sony Play or something like that. And then they just doo-dooed it with transactions. Pay-to-play mechanic.
Yeah, and then, unfortunate. That's the scary part when a big company takes over a game that you love, and you just know that this is going to be chucked on the pole heap eventually because they just want to monetize the fuck out of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Deathmatch is a dead and gone franchise. No one is going, like, games now have to be playable by all levels. No, they have to be playable by all skill levels of individuals and still feel like they're contributing and having fun. No one plays Quake because there is this mentality that you have to get beaten up for several hundred hours before you then get the opportunity to beat everyone else up who's new and coming into the game.
Quake is unforgiving. I went to play Quake when the new Quake that came out some years ago, and my God, those people are sweats. I didn't know. I was just getting shitted on bad.
Yeah, there's no real skill cap to it. You can be as good as you want, but unfortunately, those in the same pool and like. People who are even a little bit better will like bully you.
Oh yeah,
but FPS games cannot be released with "it would be good," but because there are just so many titans out there now that would I'll just play the good one then. I'll just play the one that is good.
Or I'll just go back to the one I was playing beforehand before this one was playing. Yeah, I agree. But with Battlefield, when I was playing that, it was like I don't know. My excitement for Battlefield has waned a bit. Like I feel that the time to kill is too fast. I feel like I feel like it's getting lasered. And even this new map, everyone's excited for the new map. It just feels, I don't know. It just feels like I played in the similar surroundings. There's nothing to spark my interest in the new map of Flashpoint. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing a new Battlefield. Actually, I think
they've got one in the works. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see how that
Yeah.
one performs out. But there's also a new Call of Duty in the works, so they've got
Oh, for fuck's sake.
they've all got all the opportunity to. Yeah, I think. Unfortunately, with Battlefield, I think we're going to see a hard reset to what it was, and it's going to be like, well, we're giving you something similar to how it originally was, but we won't see an actual evolution in the game itself. Or
I think they might even do like a reboot of the franchise.
I don't think it'll be a reboot. I just think it will be playing it safe, and as a result, we'll not get something that's overly exciting.
We'll be like, oh yeah, I remember they brought this in. The buildings actually explode. Yeah, but this happened 5 or 6 games ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got.
So what have you been playing?
I've got 2 games I want to play. They've both been out for a while, but they're both overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and they are. I mean, one of them is called Against the Storm, which is an RTS strategy game, which is really it's nice and slow paced.
Sorry, did you say RTS?
Yeah. And it's good. It's an RTS roguelike.
Boring. Give me something to shoot, damn it. No, you're right.
It's like The Sims, but a roguelike, and you get to manage and build your town, and then you have to do certain objectives, and there are random things that will like kill your workers off, and big. You know how the weather systems in Sims used to work, like an earthquake would happen, or there's like things if you don't take care of them, then things get real bad.
Carry on.
And there's a storm that constantly happens every so often, and it has like negative impacts on your workers and your town, and they will leave. And there's also random negative, like when the storm goes on and the bigger your town is, the more negative things that happen. You have to manage and make sure everything's good. And you've got like and there's like a big furnace in the middle of your town that you've got to keep going to protect yourself from this storm, and it's good, and it gets increasingly difficult, and it's once you've completed one node, then you move on to the next one. It's like that you know how Civilization had all those hexes? Well, each round, like each progress is you going into the next one, and they all have different, like it's random things that will make your life more difficult, and they update it pretty regularly. So I highly recommend you check it out. It's on Steam. It's called Against the Storm.
Against the Storm.
And it's very good pickup.
On early access, or is it like a full complete
early
game?
access, but it's very I have not run into any issues yet. So
yeah.
The other one
game you're playing? Sons of the Forest?
No, not Sons of the Bollocks. The other game,
Sons of the Bollocks.
Sons of the Bollocks, is
Sons of the Snores.
Yeah, is
I
across.
like Sons of the Forest though.
Sons of the Obelisk. Across the Obelisk is the other one that I've been playing. But this is so have you ever played Darkest Dungeon?
The game sounds familiar, but I don't think I've played it.
Okay, so Darkest Dungeon is a roguelike where you have 4 characters and then you sprawl across a map. I know the game, and then
it's got that weird art style. It's got like that weird 2D old scripture looking art style. Yeah.
Across the Obelisk is the same sort of stuff, but it's in a high fantasy setting. You've got to rescue this princess who's been kidnapped, and you like have like various characters, but it's also a deck builder. So each character will have a whole strategy and synergy of like different cards that they can buy and create different builds. But then all the characters have their own different builds. So you can then synergize it as a team. But the best part is this game is multiplayer. So you can join a lobby and each person can take a character and build their own synergy and spend the money how they want. And then you can all vote on what choices you want to make, and it's really good. It's a lot of fun, and
that sounds good. That does sound good. Is that early access as well? Yeah,
it's early access, but again, I haven't run into any problems with it whatsoever. They regularly update it, and there's some really good. There's a lot of replayability. I've been playing this game for maybe 10 weeks now, every Friday, and I'm having a whale of a time with it. And there's new characters you can unlock, and there's those talent trees. There's a lot of stuff to take in, but worth a pickup if you like games like Slay the Spire, for example. And
that's for our fans out there if they like something like to kick back, relax, and just play something for a few hours and just switch off. And I'm totally all down for those games. I think my games when I want to switch off is just like a single player story game or something co-op lately. Like I'm enjoying that. I'm sort of tiring of the whole multiplayer thing. Like I feel that the moment you jump on a multiplayer game, you're playing against people who think they're esport players or they're super sweaty, and it just puts you off the game. So the appeal of single player based games or just something co-op with a friend to do like missions with is becoming more and more appealing to me in my older age because like I still like multiplayer shooters and stuff. I like being competitive, but I'm just finding the whole try hard thing is just getting a bit tiring. But yeah,
Unfortunately, you're in Australia where you have a very low player pool of people. So the matchmaking systems are going to be quite not as evenly distributed like you have in the States. Like comparatively,
it's crazy.
When I joined my friend, one of his accounts, like the lower levels of matchmaking were like, it was like shooting piles of rice pudding. It was like there was really no. I felt I didn't play on it anymore because I just felt bad, which I know sounds very egotistical. Yeah. But when you have that, that's good, and that's why a lot of people don't like SBM, the matchmaking system in games like COD, because they can't turn up and just mow down everyone. They are actually forced to play people who are.
Yeah, I think that's good though, the match player based thing. But anyway, what have you been watching anything on TV, like any streaming services? Have you anything caught your eye?
Yeah, so I'm currently rewatching The Blacklist at the moment, which I absolutely
I have not watched The Blacklist at all.
You've not seen The Blacklist?
No, I haven't actually. No. I've been getting into the Last of Us TV series. I've been really enjoying that.
Yeah, so
really good.
It's got the main actor is you got Megan Boone and James Spader, who I think is phenomenal. Anyway,
James Spader's a great actor. He's good.
Yeah, and
I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah,
he is. If you like anti-hero series, I highly recommend giving it a go. They've just announced that they're going to be doing the last and final series of it as well. So it's going to be 10 seasons. There's a good amount to watch.
Really?
Yeah, and it's very, very enjoyable. So
he was he was like the it bad guy in 80s movies, James Spader. I just remember him being like, he was the good looking dude, but he was also always the piece of shit in like teen drama movies. I think like in Pretty in Pink with Molly Ringwald, he was like a real piece of shit rich scumbag. And then he was in Something Zero, Running Zero. It had Andrew McCarthy, Jamie Gertz, Robert Downey Jr., and he was in it, but he was like a drug dealer. And Robert Downey Jr. was like a coked up addict. So him playing that part was not far from reality.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But back in the day, like he was doing it. Like they were all doing it. Less Than Zero, I think it was called the movie. Go and check it out. Great 80s movie. Really good. But yeah, he was always the piece of shit in the movies. But I like James Spader.
I do.
He actually did it. Yeah. There was a really cool movie I saw him in years ago called Jack's Back, where he has a twin and his twin gets murdered. And the brother comes back to see who murdered him. But it's this serial killer who's reincarnated of Jack the Ripper, I think. I'm not too sure. And is after James Spader. And he's trying to solve the murder of his twin brother. It's really good. If you have not seen that movie, go check it out. It's a really good thriller from the late 80s, late 80s, 89, 88. Really cool movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I've been watching The Last of Us. Oh, you have seen it? Yeah, it's good.
I've only watched the first. What? No, I've not seen I've seen the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us. I'm kind of drip feeding it at the moment.
Oh, I love it, man. It's so good.
I
feel.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, give me your thoughts on the girl who plays Ellie at the moment.
I don't really care. I'm not watching. I'm not looking for if anything, I'm not looking for something that is a duplicate of the video game. I'm looking for something that engages me when I'm watching it as a TV series. I know how the game ends. Like I know what happens, which I'm praying to God that they have some sort of twist and that does not happen. Because at the moment he is making it for me as a
Pedro Pascal as Joel is really good.
I think if he was to go, I would not care about the series anymore. Like that is how I would feel about it. It's the same with The Witcher. I don't care now that what's his face is leaving.
Henry Cavill.
Cavill, I don't care. Like it's
I think it's been really good. Bella Ramsey, who plays Ellie. When that people watched that first episode, they were giving her so much backlash and saying, she's not. I said, she doesn't look anything like it. I said, you can't, like you said, can't get a carbon copy of somebody in a game. This is their interpretation of that character from the game. Let them do their thing. And I think she's done a fabulous job. I think she's done a really amazing job. Same thing with Pedro Pascal. Like, he's done a great job. I think that first episode is amazing. Like, I love the first episode. And episode has been bloody solid. I'm really loving this series, and I think it's probably the best adaptation of a video game we've had, apart from Mortal Kombat. It's sad to compare, like, because like in the AGM knows, the history of video games being made into movies or television series have been pretty shit, have been pretty crap. Witcher's been done really well. I think The Witcher's done good.
I think,
Even though I'm not
yeah.
a huge fan of The Witcher, I know it's more based on the books and stuff like that. There's more than just the game itself, but there's books and lore and all this sort of stuff. But when it comes to video games being adapted, it's usually pretty shit. They just take the IP name and then just crap shit on it, and just to make a quick buck.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like whenever a movie came out, there would be a video game release of it as well, and it was just like they eventually stepped away from that. One of the sole reasons I keep my Netflix subscription is because of their adaptations of video games into series and films. It's phenomenal. They are just, they are so good. Like, you look at, have you seen Castlevania yet?
The animated series?
Yeah.
I've watched a couple episodes and I was really pleasantly surprised. It was
You
really
need
good.
to
And I
watch
like the art
it.
direction. Yeah, my son watched the whole thing and loved it. And I started watching. I need to get back into anime and animation shows because I was a big fan of anime back in the day. But I've sort of lost interest in that stuff. But my son's a huge Dragon Ball fan. He loves that stuff. And he got me into One Piece. I was like, I don't want to watch this crap. And then I'd sit there and watch it. I was like, this is actually really good. I'm actually enjoying this.
I need to start One Piece, but it's like a million episodes.
It's 1,000 episodes, and my son has watched nearly every one of them.
Still going as well, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. And we got into Berserker. Like, we started watching Berserker. My God. Ended up on a cliffhanger. And he read the books. It's an amazing series, amazing story.
Berserk is amazing. If you like Berserk, you should definitely watch and read Claymore as well.
Okay.
Which is also...
I'll mention it to my son because he's really into that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, Castlevania is a phenomenal adaptation. Arcane was absolutely phenomenal. Dota was phenomenal. They have nailed every single production of a game out there. The Witcher is really good. What else have they done? Even Dragon's
Dogma?
Might be Dragon Dogma, but that was also really good. And then Amazon, of course, have video game is adaptation of a Critical Role. The TV series based on that is again phenomenal. I'm going to be rewatching that soon for season 2. But yeah,
I'm actually, speaking of Amazon, I'm really excited for Invincible season 2. Have you seen Invincible season 1?
Yes, I have seen Invincible season 1.
Did you like it?
Okay, so without spoiling, when I watched, I'm usually pretty analytical when it comes to watching shows, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see what's going. After episode 1, what happened, I was like, my jaw physically dropped. I was just like, what?
No, fuck.
I just didn't, it caught me very thankful it did.
Off guard.
Really off guard. And I was like, I just didn't see it happening. I had no clue. And it was just like, I'm loving this. And then for the rest of the show, there's this dark, menacing, evil, like, drama of what do you do? Yeah, very interested to see what happens off the back of that. So
I'm looking forward to seeing season 2 because it's been a while, and I'm super excited about it. Because when I watched that with my son, it was like at night, and we watched the first episode like you did, and then we stayed up all night and watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. We marathoned the shit out of it.
Yeah, and
it was great. It was so good.
And it's not your conventional superhero. It's very anti-hero, superhero and a show. Like, and superheroes. And the voice acting was,
and also I think the voice acting was spot on too. Like, everyone was really good in the voice acting. And speaking of video game adaptations, as you were saying before, like, I think what I like about Netflix is even though a lot of their shows, they seem to cull a show off like with a season 1 or 2, which is unfortunate because sometimes shows are really good and then they get culled off by a season or 2, or they only make 3 seasons or something like that. I wasn't a huge fan of their take on Resident Evil. I was not really a fan of that. I thought that was kind of
Netflix
mediocre. Yeah, did not like that at all. Didn't like it.
Did Netflix do the adaptation of it, or did they budge to get the license? The series,
I think they
the
did
TV series.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they only did 1 season.
It got
of 8
cancelled.
episodes. It got cancelled because a lot of people were shitting on it. But they just grabbed the IPs, and I think they just got pretty much the creatures and just ran amok with it and just tried to do their own thing. And they're trying to make it more catering to like the teen drama with zombies chucked in the middle of it, and just it didn't work. I watched nearly 2 episodes, and I was like, oh my god, this is a chore.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, I can't watch any more of this. Just give me a Mila Jovovich movie with her doing backflips, shooting about 100 zombies with Uzis, and repeat that on loop.
I think the unfortunate thing with Resident Evil is that the franchise has been done to death. There's been lots and lots of games. People have a good idea of how the story works. People have seen zombie movies over and over again. Like the thing with all the other titles we talked about is they're high fantasy, and they're not franchises that people have really seen as a television adaptation up to this point. It's never been zombies have been done to death, and the same thing like with the whole hero thing, it's just been done to death. I think that's why, like with the zombie genre, where it was sort of like waning off in the early 2000s, and then you had a movie like 28 Days Later come out of nowhere, where they redid the zombie genre and made it into something more realistic, where it was an epidemic, an actual virus, and they made the zombies infected people with a disease that just made them go completely fucking nuts, and that worked really well. I think it did. I think it's just like it got done to death. I think we are seeing a push towards high fantasy stuff. Like, in fact, a lot of the stuff has come out like in the high fantasy realm.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings and all this sort of stuff coming out.
I would not even necessarily Lord of the Rings coming out. I think just franchises that explore new areas and new tales that have not really been done before. I say you look at Dota, for example. You look at Arcane. Like people know those worlds, but they've not. I say there's so much material that people have never seen televised and put in comics before, and I think we will see that probably done to death at some point, and then it will move probably into mechanoids or something. You always see the rise of,
or something will come back as an old flavor, like the Western genre or something. Because like I feel that a Western genre is due for a comeback as well.
You think?
Yeah, like it seems to die off for a few years, like for every 5-10 years, and then a Western. There's the popularity of Yellowstone, which is fucking amazing. And look at all the spin-off series of that show. Like they've got a ton of spin-off series, and people are watching the shit out of it. They are lapping it up. They're loving it. And I am one of those fans. Like I heard about Yellowstone and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it. And then I watched the first 2 episodes and I was, wow, this is actually really good. This is really interesting. And I liked it. I just liked its unapologetic views on things and how these people are just, this is how they run their property. This is their relationships with one another. It's not pretty. It's not nice. And I think even it sums up like this big mega mogul character. He's got the same problems as that everyday man. Like his daughter's going through some shit. His sons are going through some drama. He's going through some drama. And not only that, his ranch is going through shit and stuff, and it's just a really good acting vehicle for Kevin Costner. Because I've always liked Kevin Costner. I think he's always been like a solid actor in a lot of roles he's been in. He's just amazing. It's just really well written. Like the characters, you just can't help but not like the characters. It's really good. And not only that, now you've got 1923 and you had 1899, which I marathoned that in one night. I loved it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think fantasy will definitely kick in because like The Witcher became such a huge popular hit on Netflix. And I think a lot of that was due to like obviously The Witcher fans, and Henry Cavill is obviously a heavy draw card because he's a good looking lad, but he was also very passionate about The Witcher because he's a gamer as well. And he wanted to make sure that it was done well. But who's taking over him now?
Taking over who? Sorry,
is it Liam Hemsworth? Is it Liam Hemsworth who's going to be the new Witcher?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a boring as fuck actor. He's just a pretty boy. I've seen him some stuff, and he's just a piece of white toast. He's boring as shit. What's he gonna?
I don't know. I have to see how it pans out. But I like. The Witcher it's been such a long time since we've seen a new one. I've lost my steam on it a little bit, but
yeah.
But yeah, the biggest thing that I really want to see at the moment that is I am completely in terms of the movie fanboy is the return of Michael Keaton, like Batman. Like I am such a I love Batman. Everything it's such a cool concept, and I've been a fan of it ever since I was a tiny little boy, and I was watching all the animated series and stuff, and the original.
It's a fantastic, it's a fantastic series. I used to watch Batman on TV in late afternoons with Adam West with Boy Wonder. Henry Caesar was Joker, and like he had his white makeup on, and you could still see his moustache because that was his like signature thing for his movies. And I said, "Can we shave the moustache off?" He said, "No." You don't shave a mustache. But yeah, Michael Keaton. You know what's funny is like before the internet was around, and there was word that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman. People were writing letters to Warner Brothers to say, "We disapprove of Michael Keaton as Batman. He's not our Batman." Until they saw the first image of him dressed up as the Batman. He was amazing. He was amazing. He's still my Batman.
Yeah.
He's still my Batman.
I love all the Batmans, but I highly looking forward to it. But unfortunately, that is all we have for today, as that is the end of this week's Basic Bloke show. So thank you for watching, everyone. As always, you can find us on all our socials at Basic Blokes. Hope you've had a fantastic week, and
Bye
we will
for now.
speak to you all very soon.
Bye.